All right. Check, check. Check, check. That would help, right? Can you hear me now? No. Yes? No? You don't hear that? I don't hear it. Check, check. Oh, there we go, there we go. I hear it loud and clear. Can we get just one more big round of applause for our band and chorus? Absolutely amazing, absolutely amazing. I love the school spirit. I love the school spirit. I gotta say, guys, I am incredibly jealous that I did not get to do this as a middle school student. I remember as a middle school student, I went to Mount Juliet Middle School in Nashville, Tennessee, and I absolutely loved NASA. And I love the idea of being in space and weightlessness and all that stuff that I just couldn't understand. But here at Indian Trails, we have something that I did not have as a middle school student. We have the most amazing teachers, the most amazing science teachers in this district. Give your science teachers and all your teachers a nice round of applause. Okay, all right. Not only do we have the best science teachers and the best teachers in this district, we also live in the best city in Central Florida. We live in Winter Springs, and I am very proud very proud to introduce someone who worked very hard on getting this awesome program to Indian Trails Middle School. He's one of your Winter City Springs Commissioner, Mr. Commissioner Cannon. Come on out, sir.
Hey, Trailblazers, you excited today? All right. So you thank your teachers and principals because they've been working with us for 18 months to pull this off with our amateur radio operators and amateur radio in the space station. So who knows how much the International Space Station is? 450. If the ISS was sitting on the ground, it would weigh 450 tons, and it travels at 17,500 miles per hour, which means it's about 250 miles above the Earth. So that's the distance from us driving to Key West from right here. That's how far away it is. And it travels all the way around planet Earth in about 100 minutes. So it's really moving up there. So we have a 10-minute window of time for all the students to ask questions, okay? Now, it's very, very important for you all to work with us today, and I know you will. And I just want to say one thing. I was at your award ceremony in May of last year, and I want to call out to all the young ladies at Indian Trails, because you young ladies really rocked the science awards. You almost had a perfect sweep. So guys, you got to catch up with them a little bit, because they had some serious awards. Girl power, y'all did good, okay? All right, so we're gonna just say one other thing. Did some of you work on the radios with us last few days? So a radio signal travels at the speed of light. Can you imagine that? At the speed of light, which is 629 miles per hour. That means in 1 second, a radio signal can go all the way around the equator of the Earth 7.5 times. That's pretty fast. Okay, anyway, so we're going to be using radio connections, and you're going to learn more about that to talk with the astronauts. But the most important thing I'm going to ask you is really cooperate so that all of these students can ask questions, because we just have a narrow 10-minute window to do that, because the space station's really booking up there, 17,500 miles per hour. So we've been looking forward to this. All of the guys here from Lake Monroe, Mr. Jordan and everybody, we're as excited as you are. So Trailblazers, you guys rock, and have a great day.
Okay, boys and girls, we're going to go ahead and have a short little intro so you get a feel of what you're going to see today.
NA1 SS, this is N2SJ, over. NA2SJ from NA1SF for potential contact.
So the ARIS program is a way for people on the ground to get in touch with the astronauts on orbit in the space station through a ham radio.
If someone wants to be an astronaut when they grow up, what should they be doing now as a kid to prepare? Over.
You know, that is a great question. There are three things you can do. One is study and work really hard in school. The second is set big goals for yourself because they'll motivate you and excite you. And the third thing is always play nice with others.
You have a chance to talk to people all over the planet using ARIS, the amateur radio aboard the International Space Station. I mean, you can look down and say, oh, there's Australia, and you pick up, and you CQ, and there's somebody out there, and they answer, and you meet a new friend.
The ARIS program is important because it, I think, teaches, especially kids, a technology in communication. It also teaches them about timing. It teaches them about the position of an object in space with respect to where they are on the Earth. I think it's a great educational tool as well as a way to communicate with people in space.
Science, technology, engineering, and math, that's what really makes the space station fly. So if you can imagine a kid who gets a chance to talk to somebody aboard that space station as it whips on by at 17,000 miles an hour, then I think it's going to capture their interest.
I think 1,000 contacts is an incredible milestone for NASA and namely the students who, they're the ones that achieved this. They're the ones that made the contact with NASA. We just provided the platform for them to do it. And if you think about these kids being the ones that are the future of space exploration, the future of NASA and all of our space programs around the world, they are learning at such an early age how to overcome this barrier, this challenge we have of communicating with others in space. And what a great start. And to reach 1,000, I think it's just motivating.
1,000 contacts. Who would have ever thought? That means 1,000 times we've had a chance to reach down to planet Earth and make contact and to inspire the next generation of explorers. So I congratulate the ARIS program. I congratulate amateur radio enthusiasts all over this beautiful planet for supporting these contacts, 1,000 of them. Who would have ever guessed that we'd have so many? Congratulations.
The ARIS program is a very good way to involve little kids and students in the space program because it lets them have a very real touch, a very personal contact with the world of human spaceflight. I can only imagine if I, as a student, had the chance to talk through a radio to an actual astronaut in orbit, I would have been very excited. Now, I was very excited already because of my passions, but this is an excellent way to get students and kids involved in science, in technology, in engineering and math, because it shows them what we can achieve.
So now we got to see a little bit of some of the other schools that have participated in this. I'm going to give you a little bit of history just because this project was actually supposed to happen last year. So sixth graders, you're very lucky that you're here today because We had to reschedule last year because of hurricanes and different events that were taking place, and we have only a small window for this to happen. So this is a great opportunity. First, I'd like to thank, and I think we should all thank, the 3 teachers that have worked very hard on this project, Ms. Ho, Mr. Van Sil, and Ms. Spain. Also, boys and girls, we also had a lot of help. If you notice the setup, there's a lot of technical things that could go wrong. And I'm very thankful to the district for Patrick Kelly and Michael Lawrence's group for coming out with his team and making sure that we have the help that we need. Also, we had some great help from Grace Church. Has 2 people out here that helped us with our equipment, and that is Chuck Habley and, of course, Kyle Garden. Thank you again, guys, for helping us out. I hope everyone enjoyed the STEM day that we had this past Tuesday, where we had UCF with the GeoBus out, Siemens out, and of course we had the Lake Monroe Ham Society out, and of course our NASA speakers. So again, boys and girls, this is going to be a great opportunity. You're doing a great job. We have one more video before we start the script, and this video, there were questions that were shared with your teachers. If you start listening for those answers, we're going to take a little tour of the International Space Station. I want you to listen for those answers to those questions, because when you get back to class, you're going to answer them. Your teachers will turn them in, and one student from each grade level is going to win a prize if they get all the questions right. So listen carefully to the video and enjoy your tour of the International Space Station.
Hello, I'm Sunny Williams. I'm up here on the International Space Station. Now, I'm going to say where we are. So right now, we're in the Japanese laboratory. It's one laboratory out of many here on the International Space Station. It's actually on the left-hand side. If I was International Space Station and I was flying through space like this, my left hand would be where the Japanese laboratory is. So now again, we're on the right-hand side, all the way on the right of the International Space Station. This is Columbus, the European module. It has science experiments all over. You can see it looks a little bit crowded. And here we do a lot of our medical experiments. So this is Node 2. This is a really cool module. Of course, most of these modules you'll see they have 4 sides, and they're put together. That way we could sort of work on a flat plane, either a wall, a floor, another wall, or the ceiling. But you know, again, all you have to do is turn yourself and your reference changes. The reason I'm bringing that up is because this is where 4 out of 6 of us sleep. And so people always ask about sleeping in space. Do you lie down? Are you in a bed? Not really, because it doesn't matter. You don't really have the sensation of lying down. You just sit in your sleeping bag. So here's one sleep station right here. I'm going in right now. You can follow me if you want. So I'm inside. It's sort of like a little phone booth, but it's pretty comfy. I've got a sleeping bag right here that we sleep in, so we don't have sort of like a little bit of a cover. We don't fly all over the place. But you know, you can sleep in any orientation. I have it feeling like I'm standing up right now, but like you saw, I'm on the floor. But it doesn't matter if I turn over and I sleep upside down. I don't have any sensation in my head that tells me that I'm upside down, so it really doesn't matter. The sleep station is also like a little office. We've got a computer in here. As you can see, we've got a couple little toys. I've got some books. I've got some clothes and other things that make it sort of like home. I'm coming out. And just for reference, that's one sleep station. This one's another, right here. There's one on the ceiling, if you want to call it, right here. And then there's a 4th on the other wall over here. So all of us sleep in a little bit of a circle. All right, come on back. There's more to show you. In the U.S. laboratory. Again, this is a laboratory with science experience on all of the walls here, all sorts of stuff that we do. And one of the things we also do is we exercise. We have some exercise equipment on board the space station. We need to do that because we lose bone density and muscle mass while we're up here, and that's a result of not having to fight against gravity. So how we keep ourselves in shape are with a bike, a treadmill, and a weightlifting machine. This is the bike. You notice the clipped pedals. So all you need to do is actually clip your feet in, and then you can start pedaling. You don't need a seat because you don't sit down. Actually, I haven't sat down for 6 months now, so you don't need any type of seat. Just make sure you're held in with your pedals. You probably see that the bike bounces around a little bit. As I move it, it's not steady and held to the wall firmly. And the reason for that is the space station is pretty big. You saw that there's also solar arrays on the space station. If we start putting any forces into the space station, it's going to make those solar arrays bounce around a little bit. So to prevent that, the machines bounce around a little bit, move around a little bit. And that way we don't put any forces onto the structure of the spacecraft out to the solar arrays. All right, a little farther on. Come on. Pretty cool place. This is sort of like in your house where everybody meets in the morning. After you wash your face, brush your teeth, you want to find something for breakfast. And this is our kitchen. You might notice there's all sorts of foods here. It's like opening the refrigerator. You got all your different stuff that you want to have: drinks, meats, eggs, vegetables, cereals, bread, snacks, and that's a good place. That's where you find all the candy. Side dishes, and then some little power bars just in case. So we have all this type of food. Some of it is dehydrated, and so we have to hydrate it, fill it up with water. Some of it is already made, and then all we have to do is heat it up. So something like this, I'm pulling out barbecued beef brisket. Pretty yummy. Not only is this food made in the U.S., but we also have food here from Japan. We've got Russian food. As you can see, all these red containers are filled with food that's from Russia. And then we get some of our specialty stuff, some things that we like, some of our favorite stuff that your family can send up. In fact, I like fluffernutters, and so I got sent up some fluff so I could make my fluffernutter with peanut butter. So you have a lot of food up here, no problems. I'm here with my two buddies in the airlock. Actually, these are two spacesuits that are ready, primed up to go outside, as we call it, to go do a spacewalk in case we have to do anything outside. Some of the things we do outside are just like inside repairs. We have a lot of electrical boxes and machinery and solar arrays, in fact, that I talked about earlier, that are outside, and sometimes they don't work quite right. Remember, space is really cold and really hot, and it's also the vacuum of space with no pressure, and so some of the equipment doesn't work well all the time. So we might have to go out and do a spacewalk. Right behind me is actually the hatch that you go out into space, and right now we have it filled up with a couple other spacesuits because we've got 4 of them up here and some of our tools. But right behind here is the hatch in which you actually go right outside into the vacuum of space. The spacesuit is pretty big, as you can see. It's like being a football player. Part of the reason it's so big and bulky is because of this backside.
Let's see. Am I coming through? Hello? Okay, we're going to have to cut off short a little bit to stay on our timing here. But we're going to go ahead and start up our sequence heading up into our contact at this time. And so, operator, if you want to start recording now, that would be great. Okay, very good. Hello, everyone. I am David Jordan, amateur call sign Alpha Alpha for Kilo November. I've had the privilege of serving as ARIS mentor on this contact today, and I will be your amateur radio moderator for today's ARIS contact between the International Space Station, or ISS, and students at the Indian Trails Middle School in Winter Springs, Florida. I would like to take a minute to thank Principal Dr. Craig Johnson and the teachers and staff of Indian Trails Middle School for hosting today's ARIS contact, and a very special thanks to Assistant Principal Christine Strang for her many dedicated hours putting this event together. Through the help of amateur radio volunteers and the crew of the ISS, we hope to soon establish an amateur radio contact with the International Space Station as it flies more than 400 kilometers, or approximately 250 miles above the Earth. This is accomplished all through ARIS, amateur radio on the International Space Station. And the ISS currently is flying, looks like just over the area of Indonesia, traveling at 17,500 miles an hour. This contact will be performed using an amateur radio Telebridge ground station. It will serve as a relay station linking the International Space Station using amateur radio, and then completes the link back to Indian Trails using the phone network. This setup will allow the students to converse with our astronaut today. Our Telebridge ground station that will establish the contact is in Glendon, Queensland, Australia, and is being operated by Shane Lynn, whose call sign is VK4KHZ. Thanks very much for helping us out today, Shane.
It's a real pleasure to be with you there, students.
ARIS is a consortium of amateur radio, also called ham radio, volunteers from many nations around the world that develop and maintain the amateur radio station on the International Space Station. Some supporting members of ARIS are the American Radio Relay League, the Worldwide AMSAT, Radio Amateur Satellite Corporation, the Center for Advancement of Science and Space, or CASIS, and the space agencies CSA, ESA, JAXA, NASA, and Roscosmos. Okay, we have about 4 minutes to go here before our contact time. Our contact today is with astronaut Serena Anon, Chancellor, whose amateur call sign is KG5TMT. But we'll be using the amateur call sign NA1SS for today's contact. Okay, we've asked Ms. Strange to tell us briefly a little bit about the school and the students taking part today.
Hello, Shane. This is Christine Strang over at Indian Trails Middle School. We are a public school in Seminole County in Winter Springs with approximately 1,250 students. We have electives as renewable energy, and we are one of the few schools in the district that has renewable energy not only at our school, but also our feeder schools of Keith Elementary and Winter Springs High School. Our students are very excited, and we look forward to hearing and speaking with our astronaut. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Strang. Okay, we're about T-minus 3 minutes roughly. Shane, VK4KHZ, before the contact begins, please tell us a little bit about your amateur station, where you are, and how you'll handle today's contact.
Great, thank you, Dave. Good morning, everyone from Australia. This is Shane, VK4KHZ. I'm located in Glendon, Queensland, Australia, which is about 120 miles inland from the city of Mackay, so it's sort of on the edge of the outback Australia. When we start calling the International Space Station, I'll talk several times, so don't be too concerned if we don't actually hear anything right from the first call, but I'll
Okay. All right. Let's see where I am here.
I guess the other thing that's worth mentioning too is it's very important to say the word over at the end of your question. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Shane. Okay, we've got about a minute to go. Remember that we are doing, what we are doing on ISS is an experiment. So we can never tell the results, positive or negative, until the experiment is over. As students, also please, as Shane has reminded us, don't forget to say over at the end of your question. As a last minute reminder too, please, I want you to please ensure that all your mobile phones, any tablets, are switched to airplane mode. This will still allow you to take photographs and video, but it will prevent interference with the PA system. Okay, so in about 30 seconds, the space station will be approaching Queensland, Australia. Our acquisition of signal is very close now. And so, Shane, I'm going to hand it over to you. And so it's all yours. Good luck, my friend.
Thank you, Dave, and good luck and all the best to Indian Trials. Okay, guys, everybody will get in their positions. We now have about 14 seconds before acquisition of signal. So I'm going to start calling in a moment. As I said, don't be too concerned if we don't get anything on the first call. We'll keep calling until such time as we've got a signal. Please stand by. Calling NA1SS, NA1SS, NA1SS. This is Victor Kilo 4 Kilo Hotel Zulu, VK4KHZ calling for scheduled contact. Can you receive, Serena? Over. Calling NA1SS, NA1SS. This is Victor Kilo 4 Kilo Hotel Zulu, VK4KHZ calling for scheduled contact. Can you receive? Over. Calling NA1SS, NA1SS, this is Victor Kilo 4 Kilo Hotel Zulu, VK4KHZ calling for scheduled contact. Can you receive? Over. Okay, thank you, Serena. A little bit scratchy at the moment, but I'm sure the signal will come up okay in a couple of seconds. Serena, we have the students from Indian Trails Middle School in Winter Springs, Florida, standing by for you. Please go ahead, Sierra, with your first question to Serena. Please go ahead, Sierra.
Hi, my name is Sierra. What complications arise when working on the ISS and how are they overcome? Over.
I'm McKenna. How are your energy levels affected by their regular sleep schedule and intensive exercise regimen? Over.
Hi, my name is Peyton. What kinds of experiments aboard the ISS influence the progress of putting humans on Mars? Over.
Hi, Peyton. So I think one of the biggest things we do up here is we actually turn our pee into water, and that's one of the biggest experiments we can do because finding a way to make your own water on a different planet like Mars is very, very important.
Hi, my name is Emily. Is there anything you wish you could have trained on more before going to space? Over.
Actually, Emily, I feel like we were trained really, really well, and we were just itching to go. The things I wish I would have been trained on is how it feels to launch on that rocket, but you're just not going to know until you get there. Over.
Hi, my name is Baron. My grandfather was an astronaut, Stuart Russo, part of Apollo 14. I never had the chance to ask him, what is the most beautiful thing about space? Over.
Hi, Baron. Pleasure to meet you today, and certainly one of, I think what your grandfather would have told you is the most absolutely beautiful thing to look at is the planet Earth itself and realize how many different types of people and how many cities and different land types there are. And we get to see it many times a day. It is amazing.
Hi, my name is Jesus. What type of studies do you conduct and how do they help us here on planet Earth? Over.
Hi, Jesus. So we
name's Tyler. If I want to be an astronaut, what advice would you give me? Over.
Hi, Tyler. The advice I give you is absolutely do what you love. I'm a doctor, and I love doing it, so don't pick anything because you think NASA would want you to do it. You pick a career or do things that interest you. Over.
Hi, I'm Colin. I know usually in an airplane at high altitude, my taste buds get thrown off. Does that happen with you being in space? Over.
Hi, Colin. No, we haven't experienced that. One thing we do experience, though, is something called food fatigue, and that's because we kind of eat the same foods over and over, and they're kind of mushy. We really wish we had something like a crunchy taco. Over.
Hi, I'm Alani. What is the most challenging obstacle to overcome to grow vegetation in space? Over.
Honestly, we're actually growing some plants up here right now called Arabidopsis. But I think the most challenging part is keeping the right lighting conditions and watering them because water on the earth likes to sink through the ground. But with no gravity up here, you have to force water into the system. Over.
Hi, I'm Maya. How is working underwater and working in space similar? And can you apply marine studies to anything in space? Over.
Hi, my name is Shaya. After being aboard the ISS for such a long period of time, does it start to feel like a home to you? Over.
Hi, my name is Cameron. Can you see the Tesla Roadster? What's the most interesting thing you've seen from the ISS? Over.
Haven't seen the Roadster, but the most interesting thing I've seen up here is the beautiful lights of the aurora. The greens and pinks and purples, they're just kind of like a live finger stretching from the earth. Over.
Hi, my name is Jade. If the ISS was ever pushed off trajectory, would you feel it and what would you do about it? Over.
Great question, Dave. So the ISS maintains constant trajectory, and we have little tiny ways of correcting what we call our position or attitude. Of course, if it was very, very big, we would probably definitely feel it, but we have special engines that can correct it. Over.
What is one thing that you wish people would ask you about being an astronaut but never get asked? Over.
Hi, my name's Colton. Has your metabolism been affected in microgravity, and if so, how? Over.
So, Colton, they try and calculate exactly how many calories we need, and some people think it's a lot less because we're just not moving like we do on Earth. There's no gravity, but funny enough, we think our metabolism is affected a little bit because we need the same amount of calories up here like we do on Earth. Over.
When creating the ISS, what was the goal in mind, and was that goal accomplished? Over.
So the goal of creating ISS was to create this national science laboratory where all kinds of experiments could be performed almost every day of the year, and we are accomplishing that right now. Are we almost done? Absolutely not. We've got many, many more experiments to go. Over.
Which experiment that you have done aboard the ISS interested you the most? Over. What is the hardest thing to adapt to in space? Over.
Honestly, the hardest thing is just adapting for being away from your family. That's still the hardest part. It's a long time before you get to see your home again. Over.
What was the hardest thing you did during training to prepare for the mission? Over.
Funny, it's almost similar to the last question. I had to travel. I was overseas
made you decide to be an astronaut? Over.
Honestly, I wanted to be an astronaut since I was about 8 years old, and it, to me, just in my gut, felt like it was something I needed to do, and I watched shuttles launch over and over again, and just felt like I needed to be there. Over.
What is your favorite part of your day aboard the ISS? Over.
Favorite part of my day is when I'm working on a science experiment and I'm talking with the scientists on the ground, and we're looking at those results together, and we realize that those results can definitely have a positive impact on people on Earth. That is by far my favorite part of the day. Over.
How did you feel the first day in microgravity? Over.
So honestly, you don't feel great your first few days up there in microgravity. Your stomach's a little upset, and when you can't turn your head too quickly because you feel like you feel a little dizzy at times. But after about a week, that all goes away, and it becomes really, really fun to float. Over.
About 30 seconds before loss of signal.
30 seconds. Go ahead and ask.
Next question.
How does your previous career affect how you approach things now as an astronaut? Over.
So as a physician, I was very, very detailed in what I did. I always paid attention to details because sometimes details can make a big difference to someone's life, like my patients. And up here on the space station is exactly the same. We are always paying attention to details to keep us safe and the space station safe. Over.
Is space travel everything you thought it was going to be? What is something that surprised you? Over.
Honestly, something that surprised me is that I never get tired of floating to work every day. I get to float home, float back to work, and we become more and more graceful every week, like space ballerinas. Over.
Okay, we're about to lose signal from Serena, so a big group thank you, and goodbye to Serena quickly.
Okay, everybody, let's, students in the audience, let's give a big thank you to our astronaut, Serena Auñón, Chancellor. Okay. Thanks very much, Serena, and great experience for the students of Indian Trails. It's been a pleasure talking with you. 7-3 from Australia. This is VK4KH, and they're now closing the link. Bye-bye.
Okay, it's awesome talking to you. Every time we get to do a hand pass, I feel like I know you. Thanks again from the ISS.
Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and students of Indian Trails Middle School, you have created a moment of history today. Through the help of ARIS, Serena Auñón, Chancellor, KG5MT on the International Space Station conversed with students from Indian Trails Middle School in Winter Springs, Florida, through amateur radio station VK4KHZ in Queensland, Australia. And this contact was moderated by myself, David Jordan, AA4KN. Please show your thanks to Shane in Australia for his hard work. He got up very early in the morning for us in making this contact a very special and memorable event. Let's give him a hand. Okay. Let's bring it down. On behalf of all the international volunteer teams of ARIS, including the radio amateur satellite corporations around the world, the American Radio Relay League, CSA, ESA, JAXA, and NASA, the Center for the Advancement of Science in Space, and Roscosmos. This is David Jordan, amateur radio operator, AA4KN, sending my greetings to all of you in the traditional amateur terms, 73s and best wishes. Operator, you may complete the recording. You guys did a fantastic job today. Incredible. Let's give yourselves a hand. This is a day that you will never forget, trust me, and you did a wonderful job. Thank you for coming. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Okay, teachers, if we can go ahead and dismiss this side first.